Hey, good morning, everybody. It's early mornings LALATE, the 6:30 edition. The bottom of the hour. The one that falls after the 6 o'clock edition. Big updates on your second stimulus check, your second stimulus package, that $2,400 on SSI, SSDI. Boy, and did you crush the turkey? Did you crush the turkey? Last night in Purple Power Live, boy, if you did not tune into that one, that was a shocker. No less than a half dozen people revealed that they got grants from this channel. I just didn't know they had. I had not been asking people what have you been getting, and it just came in. Everything from $300 to $20,000. Yes, and in this video I'll go over how I'm getting viewers money right now, not 5 weeks from now, and five days from now. And it's money you really need, because ultimately, if stimulus does come, second stimulus does come, it wouldn't come in the month of November, it would come in the month of December. So let's get to those breaking details. It's all really exciting, and this is the continuation of Early Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Early Mornings LALATE, the 6:30 edition. I'm so glad you're here on the day after Thanksgiving. Do you have leftovers? Do you have leftovers? If you have leftovers, what are your favorite leftover item recipes for Thanksgiving? I'd love to see them in the comments, so drop a comment below, and I might feature them in tomorrow's recording. Boy, on Purple Power Live last night, people were really revealing some delicious desserts that they had on Thanksgiving. So I'm very jealous, but needless to say, I guess I'm glad I did not have any of those, because I probably would have eaten all of them. But if you've not subscribed, please subscribe, because no one's getting you money faster, quicker, and simpler than this channel. And if you've tried to look for the money, continue to try, because last night's Purple Power was inspiring. Please subscribe to this channel, because last night in Purple Power Live at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every night, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, we had nearly a half a dozen viewers just sort of say, oh, by the way, I got this. Oh, by the way, I got that. And I had not been asking viewers, and it was just wonderful. So I'll have more about that in this video, on how you can get that money, how you should get that money, how you should not sit back and not get the money. And what's incredible news is that people now understand this is theirs. It's free. It's not a loan. It's theirs to go get it. And I'll be going over that shortly. Also, I'll be going over what predominantly were the major questions last night in Purple Power Live, and they focused on stimulus checks as well. If you've not noticed, this is an instant premiere, always at 6:30 a.m. If you're watching and tuning in, it's over on the side, so chat with your Purple Power buddies. If you had a success story, share it. If you need help, share it. Someone will help you. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news, as you sit here this morning, is that viewers are just really doing very well on getting this CARES Act 1 grants. Then we're now collectively referring to it as CARES Act 1 grants between you and I, the Purple Power community, because we had to have a name to refer to it, because it is CARES Act 1 grants. This is money that the federal government gave to states, that gave to cities and counties. In some cases, it's also utility companies have their own grant system, which may not be exactly CARES Act. And in some cases, some viewers are using religious organizations and political action organizations that I'm referring them to, that friends are referring them to from this channel, that are also paying for grants. And boy, last night on Purple Power Live was just incredible. I mean, I think it was about maybe 8 viewers that said, I got this, I got this, I got this, I got this, and I had never known that. I had not been pooling them and asking them in Purple Power Live every day, what have you gotten? And this was sort of a revelation. And some of the people in there I already knew had gotten it, because I recognized their faces from earlier recordings. So we had one person who got a $20,000 rent grant. We had one person who got a 1-month rent grant. We had another person who got a utility grants. Another one got a utility one. One got something for multiple things, and then a few people had sort of like a mixture, like a combo. The combo person who got the $20,000 literally got rent, utilities, and something else. Got literally like a big smorgasbord. Really congratulations to that person. Everyone was just like shocked. Then the utility people were getting somewhere in the $200 to like $1,200 range of grants, and then other rent people were getting anywhere from like I think the lowest I saw was maybe 2,000, and then it went up to like 15,000. So it was just all over the place. It was really encouraging, and it basically said, "Hey, people have now followed through with this." It was exemplary because one of the viewer who got the big amount of money was in Dallas, Texas. And there was someone else in the chat that needed help in another part of Texas. And ironically, also in the chat was someone who needed help in one part of Florida, but someone else in the chat had already gotten 14,000 in the Florida. And someone else was asking for about Massachusetts, while someone else had already gotten $14,000 from Massachusetts. So how do you do this? How do you get this money? It's Friday. You know, tomorrow's the federal government and the state offices are all closed. So how do you do this? First, you need to know what city you're in. I think you generally know that. Okay, what county are you in? A lot of people don't know what county they're in. What county are you in? Okay, so the first thing you have to do is call your city hall. And then the second thing is you have to call your county hall. I call it county hall. County offices, county executive offices. I don't know what everyone has. I call it county hall, the offices of your county government. Next, your state housing authority. Third, your utility companies. Every single utility company you have, water, electric, gas, all of those. Then, when you call them up, you're asking for assistance, paying a bill. And so you need to use very basic words. Between you and I, we know this is CARES Act 1 grants. If you say CARES Act 1 to someone, they're like, care who? What's CARES 1? They don't know that. That's just not a normal term. And you go to explain it, they're not going to follow you. So don't use complicated words. Use simple words like rental assistance because of COVID. I need assistance paying my rent. Do you have any grants, rental assistance, rent help, paying for my rent because of COVID? Do you have any utility assistance? Because I'm having problems paying my bill because of COVID. Do you have any food assistance? You start with rent, then go to utilities, and then you go to food. And one viewer had gotten utilities. I said to her last night in the Purple Power Live, I'm like, did you go and get food also? Because she said rent was not available, so she got utilities. I said, hey, try food also. People seem to like forget about food. Food's a lot of money. You can get a lot of money for food. You'd be shocked how much money you can get for food. And if you got rent and you're sort of happy, don't stop there. Go and get food also. I mean, you got one down. Let's go to the next one. When you call them up, you know, the word grant, Grant, confuses a lot of people. So don't use that word initially because people think it means something which it's not. They think I don't know what they think it is, but it gets confused the word, some reason. So use assistance, rent assistance or utility assistance, and make it very basic. If you get someone on the phone has no idea what you're talking about and can't forward you to someone, or someone who says no, like no, really sort of an emphatic no, you know you're talking to the wrong person. So you got to find another person. Ultimately, finding that person is the key ingredient. And then you want to do it with the utility companies, and you want to do it with the county. Now, if you have first looked it up on the computer or the cell phone by opening your cell phone, saying city official website, and it comes up, and then you look through it and you look for grants and you found it, then you may have eliminated part of the process because some of these grant programs have their own direct phone numbers. You can call that own direct phone number. And ironically, what's important, what I've been saying for several days is absolutely coming to fruition, that these programs are not around for very long. They're going to be gone by mid-December. And they're giving out this money very fast, very fast. I mean, people are getting this money in 24 days, 24 hours, 48 hours. I mean, it's not even going 3-4 days. It's very, very quick. So I want you to get in on it right away. Ultimately, you know, this is the channel that's covering this discussion. And, if other channels start talking about this, or broadcast media starts talking about it, or it starts to get bigger, quicker, then ultimately you have more competition for getting this money. The money is there, and I want you to get it now. Next, in the community page of this channel, there are volunteers. Those volunteers are people who I helped. And those volunteers have stepped forward and say, I will help other people find this money as well. So this is if you've tried it and you've run into a dead end. For example, you called your city hall. They said, I don't know what you're talking about. And you kept on calling up and down and around and over. And you called your county and you called your state housing authority. If you're one of those people who says, I just don't know where to start, can someone do it for me? That's not cool. You should really put in an effort to try to find it yourself. And then if you can't do it, then these people are here to help. Understand this channel does, 2 million views a day. So it's a lot of people trying to find things at the same time, and it's there. And ultimately, the success stories last night in Purple Power Live was sort of exemplary because these were people who used the information on this channel and did it themselves and got it. And I understand some people can't do it themselves, but that's always been the spirit of the Purple Power. I give the information, you take the information, I empower you, you go get it. What's important to understand is that I think all the concerns that I have now been washed away, which is great news. I was concerned that some viewers didn't understand the word grant, that they thought it was a loan. A grant is not a loan. The concern that some people thought that grant had some obligation to pay it back. It's not. It's a grant. It's free money. It's yours. Here you go. It's yours. You're not paying it back. That there was some catch. There was something that if you took it, it disqualified you from something else. I'm so happy to understand and see that these people that everyone is now sort of washed away all that sort of negative confusion, baffling thing. It's just money. Go get it and just go get it. The other thing that I'm very happy about is that people are really pushing great, and you should too as well, because ultimately this money is there for you to get, and do not discount yourself or take you out of the equation. There's ultimately going to be someone that's going to watch this video say, is there any rent grants for people on SSI? Is there any utilities grants for people who are veterans? They don't set them up with this qualifier at the end. So take the qualifier out of the equation and just focus on the broader thing. And I think that's now working. And the important thing is that there's a hierarchy. You start with rent, then you go to utilities, then you go to food. And once you've really hit a plateau on rent, if you go to utilities and you go to utilities, almost, I think it's like 99% of the country has utility grants. They're just everywhere. Someone in Purple Power Live last night said there's utility grants everywhere. And there was someone in Purple Power Live last night that I did see the comments of, I got a $400 utility grant, but that doesn't do anything for me. Boy, don't post that on this channel because I'll get deleted in a second. That is the level of negativity that this channel doesn't accept. You got someone gave you $400 of grant money, and you're like, that's not enough, thank you. But I'm not happy with that. Yeah, it may not be sufficient, but never not be thankful for something so thankful as a grant. And the ability of a utility company to give you that service. Next, if you do face a impediment on finding the rent grants, then lean on the volunteers. The volunteers are in the community page of this channel. You go to the front of this channel and you look for community. It's next to the word video, and it's video and then community, and you look down there, and I post it every day. I keep on reposting so you don't miss it, and it says here are the 6 volunteers. There's ultimately a person who thinks that it's best to send me a message in private on Facebook, or send me a message in private on Instagram, and can you go look it up for me? I may never see that message because I get so many messages. I try to answer every message I can because this is very important. This is, this is more important than when are we getting hazard pay? Those type of questions. And is a truck driver an essential worker? Those type of questions I always get. Every single day I just go, that's really not a pressing issue. This is a pressing issue, and I try to answer as many of the questions I can. But ultimately, if you want me to look something up for you, I don't really have the time and the ability to look things up for every city or state. What I can do is get you in contact with the volunteers. I can impart with you how to do this, and I can remind you that you basically start with rent and go to utilities and go to food. And ultimately, it's important that you watch the videos because as I learned from you, then I impart that knowledge to the other viewers. It was important to see last night that the viewer got $20,000 from Dallas because that showed that there's other ways to get money than we would normally think. And with that, if you've not subscribed, please do. Also like this video. Coming up at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is Mornings LA. Join me because that's going to be a big broadcast. And then 12 noon holidays in LA. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and save that life for more.